Ladies and gentlemen, in this RedGamingTech.com video, my name is Paul and we're going to be taking a look at a graphics comparison of Assassin's Creed Unity on the PlayStation 4 versus the Xbox One. I have done this as an article as well if you need a more technical, in-depth analysis, but with that said, let's jump right in. So overall, this game looks pretty much identical on both platforms. I believe that they are using, for all intents and purposes, the same assets. To give you a bit of background, the game is rendering natively internally at 900p across both platforms and is using most likely FXAA, which is a downstep from the SMAA of previous release of the title, Black Flag. But overall, in terms of geometry, textures, and all of the other game assets, it does look noticeably better. Shadows, for example, can be cast from rays of light that come in through foliage, in through windows, into a building, and then you can actually see those shadows dance as wind outside will blow the foliage. It can look really nice, but foliage itself does definitely have problems in terms of the overall quality. I would assume that's down to less geometry on foliage than what it could possibly do with. If I had to guess, I would assume that that's down to the developers trying to minimize the amount of geometry and therefore draw calls and overall performance that can entail. Obviously, geometry can be quite expensive. When it comes to textures and basic details, however, as I said, it looks quite stunning, and Paris as a whole looks quite incredible. There are some occasional ropey models here and there, but it's definitely a step up from Black Flag, and you can tell that this is for the most part next generation. There are, however, concerns. Both console versions suffer noticeably from pop-in. You can quite literally run down the street and see characters quite physically pop in front of you, and we're not just talking about fade in, we are literally talking appear just a couple of steps in front of you, and in fact those models can actually completely and utterly change. So for example, a lady in a blue dress can seconds later be wearing a red dress and have an entirely different face. These are not LOD issues, these are complete pop-in concerns. However, these are even quite minor compared to other concerns that we have in regards to, let's say, collision detection, the ability to find invisible walls around, say, carts, bounding boxes. There are dozens of little glitches on this game visually, and I'm sure you've all seen the rather infamous picture of the models where parts of their faces are missing and look like they've had terrible accidents. And it's a real shame, quite honestly, because the title definitely does have quite a lot of love put into it in terms of the art. You could see that the developers really have poured some heart and soul into this, but the technical bugs just really mire it down. I will also say that neither version, either the Xbox One or the PS4, really live up to the expectations that you would have for them, which is a real shame. It is good that the PS4 version and the Xbox One version do look very visually impressive, but you do feel that the PS4 version could definitely have a slight step up, for example a slightly higher internal resolution, and as I said, the Xbox One version isn't flawless either. The fact that it has massive frame rate drops, both versions, in fact the Xbox One version actually has slightly more stable frame rate, which we've shown in the analysis of the frame rate on this very channel, and of course you've got other concerns such as a quite frankly kind of wishy-washy image, which is made up of the fact that, well, anti-aliasing on both versions is pretty suspect at times. Overall, the game does look quite gorgeous, and I can't really fault the developers for many of their artistic decisions, and in the end, the game just loses out simply because of the technical concerns that we have with the game rather than the art team or poor game assets. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon, take care, and bye for now.